Hello everyone. Welcome to another lecture on reasoning ability and problem solving. In today's lecture, we will start a new concept and a new topic called analogy. Now, the dictionary definition of analogy basically means the comparison between two things to find out similarities. So, whenever we compare two things and find similarities between them, we are basically using the concept of analogy. So let's say if I have to find comparison between dog and cat, the first point will be that both of them are animals, right? Second would be both of them are pet animals. Then both of them have four legs. Both of them have tail. Both of them have fur, and so on. So we can basically draw so many similarities between dog and cat. So this is the concept of analogy. In your competitive exams, we use the concept of analogical reasoning. So basically, we use the concept of analogy to draw comparisons and find similarities. And based on those similarities or differences, we can make inference and solve our problems. So in your competitive exams, you will get six type of questions based on analogy. That is semantic analogy, number analogy, letter analogy, object or shape analogy, classification analogy, or function analogy. And in this lecture, we will understand all of them in detail. So semantic analogy basically means logic analogy. When we draw comparison between two or more things based on logic, that is called semantic analogy. Similarly, number analogy deals with numbers. Letter analogy can also be called alphabet analogy. Okay, so here we deals with alphabets. Object and shape analogy. We deals with various objects and various shapes. Then in classification analogy, we basically have certain words, certain things that we have to classify and we have to group them together. This can also be known as group analogy or category analogy because we are drawing comparison based on their groups or their categories and further classifying them. Then function analogy is based on the nature of the object, that what is exactly the function of the object, and based on that we draw similarities. Now before we start with analogy, you should know two words. First is antonym and synonym. These two words are widely used in analogies, so it is very important to know their meaning. Antonym means opposite in meaning. So whenever we have to find the opposite of a word or opposite of certain object, we have to find their antonym. Similarly, synonym means similar in meaning. So whenever we have to find out similarities between the two objects, we are finding their synonym. There's a very short trick that you can use to remember these two words, S and S. So S for synonym and S for similarity. So the other word will automatically will mean opposite words. So if you remember this S and this S, you can easily remember the meaning of these two words. These two words are very important when it comes to analogy. Okay, so let us start. In this question, this is a type of semantic analogy. Semantic means logical analogy. Now, dog is to bark, and we have to find the relation of cat with something. So, whenever you get a question like this, it basically means that bark is related to dog in a way, and you have to find a term that is related to cat in the similar way. So, whenever you get a question like this, where there's two dots, so this first term has a logical relationship. we have to find this logical relationship and we have to apply similar logic or same logic to find out the relationship between this word and the missing word. Over here, if we look at this question, bark is related to dog. How? Basically, bark is the sound of the animal. So what sound does dog makes? It is bark. So similarly, to find the relationship between cat and the missing term, we have to find the sound of cat. So how is bark related to dog? It is the sound of dog. So to find the missing term, we have to find the relationship, same relationship for cat. So we have to find the sound of cat, which is meow. So our option will be option number 2, meow. So if you look at the solution, step 1 is to identify the relationship between the first pair. This is the first pair and we have to identify the relationship. Then we have to apply the same relationship to the second part of the analogy. So this was the first part of the analogy and this is the second part of the analogy. So whatever logic is being followed in the first part of the analogy, we have to apply the same logic to the second part of the analogy. So this is how you get questions on semantic analogy, that is logical analogy. This is type 2, which is number analogy. In this, again, we can see there are two parts. This is the first part and this is the second part. So first we have to identify the relationship between the first part and then we have to use the same logic to identify the missing term in the second part. In the first part, I can see that there are three terms, 2, 4 and then 8. Right? So if I go from 2 to 4, I am multiplying it by 2. If I go from 4 to 8, I am multiplying it by 2. So we have to follow the same logic in the second part as well. In second part, we have 32, 64 and this is the missing term. So if I multiply 2 into 32, I'll get 64. So to find the missing term, I have to use the same logic. That is, I have to multiply it by 2. And if I multiply 2 from 6 into 64, my answer will be 128, which is option number 3. So as you can see in number analogy, you will get certain terms in the first part and certain terms in the second part. And the second part will have a missing term. So based on the relationship that you find in the first half, that is the multiplication of 2, you have to use the same logic to find the missing element in the second part. Okay? Here you can see the solution. We have to identify the pattern in the first set of numbers, which is this. And then we have to use the same pattern to the second part of the analogy. Second part is this. So whenever we get number analogy, first identify the pattern in the first part and then use it to identify the missing element in the second part. Now third type of analogy is letter analogy. Letter, or we can also call it as alphabet analogy. In alphabet analogy, we use the same concepts that we used in alphanumeric series and also in coding and decoding. So we studied 4 concepts: forward ranking. Then we studied the concept of backward rank. Then we studied the concept of opposite letters. And then we studied the concept of loop. So all these 4 concepts will be used in letter analogy or alphabet analogy. Over here you can see this is divided into 2 parts. This is the first part and this is the second part. So first we have to identify the relationship between the first pair and then we have to apply the same logic to identify the relationship between the second pair. From here I can see that somehow ACE is related to DFH. If you remember forward ranks, let us put them. A is ranked at 1, C is ranked at 3 and E is ranked at how much? E is ranked at 5. Similarly, D is ranked at 4, F is ranked at 6 and H is ranked at 8. So in this type of question, in letter analogy, basically the first term will be related with the first term over here, the second term will be related over here, and the third term will be related over here. So we have to find the individual operation that is being performed on each letter to find the logic that is being used. So over here I can see very clearly from 1 to 4, that means plus 3. Here also from 3 to 6, that means plus 3. And here also from 5 to 8, that means plus 3. So basically we are moving 3 positions forward. So if you remember the rankings, M is ranked at 13, O is ranked at 15, and Q is ranked at 17. So if these are the rankings, we have to move 3 positions forward. That is, we have to find the 16th rank, we have to find the 18th rank, and we have to find the 20th rank. We have to move 3 positions forward. So 16th rank, at 16th rank, we have P, at 18th rank, we have R, and at 20th rank, we have T. So our code will be PRT, which is option number 1. So option number 1 will be your correct answer. So whenever you get questions of letter analogy or alphabet analogy, in those type of questions, you basically have to identify the relationship of the first pair by treating each letter individually, and then you have to apply same logic to the second pair by treating each letter individually. This is how you solve questions on letter analogy or alphabet analogy. Then we have object and shape analogy. So object and shape analogy basically deals with 2D images or 3D images. So there are certain things that you should know in this type of question. First is the 2D image and the corresponding 3D image. That means for circle, which is a 2D image, the corresponding 3D image will be sphere. Similarly, for square, which is a 2D image, the corresponding 3D image will be cube. For rectangle, which is a 2D image, the corresponding 3D image will be cuboid, right? And for triangle, which is a 2D image, the corresponding 3D image can be called either a prism or it can also be called a pyramid. So this is first concept that you should remember. Then you should remember the number of sides in an object or a shape and what do we call that. For example, triangle has 3 sides. So a shape with 3 sides is called a triangle. Similarly, a shape with 4 sides is called a square. It can also be called a rectangle or it can also be called a quadrilateral. This is number of sides. A shape which has 5 sides is called a pentagon. A shape which has 6 sides is called a hexagon. A shape which has 7 sides is called a heptagon. Similarly, a shape with 8 sides is called a octagon. A shape with 9 sides is called a nonagon. And a shape with 10 sides is called a decagon. So at least this much information should be clear to you. So this 2D to 3D, this is asked very commonly. What is the corresponding 3D figure called? And similarly, this number of sides concept is also used very frequently. So this up till 10 you should know. Third, if we have two-sided figure, it will not meet anywhere. So we don't usually have a name for it. It is very complicated and that much information is not usually asked in your exams. So from 3 onwards up till 10 you should know. If you can know more than that, good. But this much you should remember by heart. So number of sides of 3, triangle. 4, you can call it either square, rectangle or a quadrilateral. 5, pentagon. 6, hexagon. 7, heptagon. 8, octagon. 9, nonagon. And 10, decagon. This much information you should remember. Now let us come to this question. In this question, this is the first pair and we have to identify the relationship between the second pair. So first pair, circle is a 2D figure and sphere is a 3D figure. So I can say that the relationship is that we have to find the corresponding 3D figure for the 2D figure that is given. So over here, the 2D figure that is given is square. And for square, the corresponding 3D figure is called cube. So our answer will be option number 4, cube. We have to first identify the relationship between the objects in the first pair, which was circle and sphere. And then we had to use the same logic to the second pair, which is square and cube. Now, classification analogy, also known as group analogy, and it can also be called category analogy. So in these type of questions, we basically classify certain words into one category, and we have to either find the categories for a different set of words. For example, in this particular question, all this will be considered as part 1 and this will be considered as part 2. Over here, rose, lily, tulips. These are all type of flowers. That is one classification. So we have classified rose, lily, tulip into one group, into one category, and that is flowers. Similarly, in the second side, we are given apple, orange, and banana. We have to classify these three words into one group and one category out of the given options. So very clearly we can see that apple, orange, banana are all type of fruits. So this will be the answer. We have classified. Similarly, let's say if we get a question like maple, sandalwood, and oak. What are these? These are all type of trees, right? And we have to find out that brinjal, potato, and tomato fall under which group. So very clearly, all these three are vegetables. So they will fall under the group of vegetables. So classification analogy basically means that we are given certain letter of words. It could be even the other way also. Let's say we had a question where we were given rose, lily, tulip as flowers, right? And we were given, let's say, trees, and we were given maple, sandalwood, to find other element which would fall into this category. Let's say the options were oak, right? Then apple. Then we had an option of, let's say, brinjal. And then we had an option of lemon. So clearly in this first analogy, all these are type of flowers. So we have to find an element which is a type of a tree, right? So in this question, even though apples are grown on trees, lemon are grown on tree, but oak is the only option which is a type of a tree, right? All this is a fruit, this is a vegetable, this is a vegetable. So oak will be the correct answer. So in classification analogy particularly, you can get two types of questions. First, that will ask the group. Like in this question, we are asked as to apple, orange, banana fall into which group. Or you would be asked missing element of the group. So either of the two types of questions you can get from classification analogy. You can see the solution. We have to first identify the first pair, which is this, and we have to identify the relationship, and we have to apply the same classification to the second part, which is this. Okay. Then function analogy. Function means based on the nature, as to what is the actual function. Over here you can see the teacher is somewhere, this is the first pair, right? This is the first pair, and we have to find the missing element of the second pair. Over here you can see that teacher is somehow related to educate. So similarly we have to find the missing element over here. How is teacher related to educate? So the function of teacher is teacher teaches. This is the function of teacher. It teaches, and teachers can be written as educate. Teacher educate their students, right? So similarly, we have to find the function of chef. So chef cooks. So the function of chef is to cook. So even though cookbook and recipe are both related to chef, but we have to find an element which is related to chef exactly how educate is related to teacher. If we had something like teacher notebooks, we had to find the relationship between chef and the other word. In this particular case, we could identify the logic that teacher uses notebooks for their references, or they use books for their references. Similarly, chef use cookbooks for their references, right? So it is very important to identify the exact relationship between the first pair. In this first pair, it is the function of the teacher to teach. Therefore, we have to identify the exact same function of chef, which is to cook. Let's say if we had another word that is captain of a plane. So what will be the relationship if we have to find out the similarity? So over here, the function of a teacher is to educate. The function of a chef is to cook. Similarly, the function of a captain is to fly. So fly would be the correct answer. So whenever we deal with function analogy, again I'm repeating, it is very important to identify the exact relationship between the first pair, and then we have to find the exact relationship between the second pair. Let's say if we had something like this, teacher is somehow related to school. And we had to find the relationship between chef and the missing element. So over here, I can say that I'm erasing, let me write. So let's say if we had teacher is somehow related to school, and we had to identify the relationship between chef. How is chef related to this missing element? So I can say that teacher teaches in a school. So how is school related to teacher? It is the place of work for a teacher. Similarly, a chef will cook in a hotel or in a restaurant, right? Hotel, or it could also be a restaurant. So hotel or a restaurant is the place of work for a chef. So over here we can either get hotel or a restaurant. So the same two words, that is teacher and chef, can have so many different similarities between them. So it is very important to understand the exact relationship, exact nature of relationship, exact function between the first two words, and then apply the same logic to the second pair of words. This is how you deal with function analogy. So here you can understand, identify the function or the role, right, in the first pair. Similarly, apply the same function or role to the second pair, which is to cook. So this concludes this lecture, and thank you.